Dominic's he was actually a mid-year transfer, and he was someone that was meant to have joined us for our fall 2013 campaign, but we just couldn't get him in on time. But he's here now with us actually in the spring, and he's out of Germany, very experienced. He's a transfer student for us. He's a very experienced player. He's someone that's fitting well to the squad already, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to get to see this guy play in our spring matchups, so it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in, but he's definitely someone that we brought in knowing that he's going to contribute somewhere in the squad. Our biggest problem last year for the man was that we just had no depth really coming off the bench, and when we turned to the bench, it's not that we didn't have good players, we just had maybe inexperienced players. Every other player on the bench was a freshman almost, and so with Dominic bringing in these kids, and to be honest with you, we only have 2 legitimate freshmen. Every other kid that we've brought in as a transfer, just so we can have that immediate impact of the experience. So Dominic's definitely one that will bring. He's fitting well with the squad, and he's definitely got a bright future here. Loves the ball, loves to make things tick, and definitely one of the hardest working players that we've got. James Ward, like I say, also a transfer student. James is going to transfer in to us and hopefully fill that centre back role that Matthias Bacchi played. James he's a typical English centre back. He's very strong, very physical. He commands well vocally from the back, and of course not only will we be missing Matthias Bacchi, but Hurik Pereira played out of position to play centre back, and then Rumwald will graduate. So having that voice back there that some of those boys gave us, James is definitely going to make up for that. So definitely moving forward, he's going to be one of the top defenders, top centre backs in the conference for sure. Lucas, like Dominic, came in mid-year transfer, and he's also out of Germany. And Lucas he's one of those players. He's very versatile. He can play out wide. He can play in the middle of the park. He's with us right now, and he's training hard. And it'll be interesting to see where he fits into the team. But he's definitely one that's going to give us a little bit more experience on the squad. And again, whether he starts in games or comes off the bench, he's going to give us that little bit more of experience of being around the game and already having a lot of knowledge. But technically a very good player. And like I say, he's the German kids are not shy of working hard, and he gives us everything he's got every practice. So definitely he's got a bright future here with us. Cavies he's coming in with, we've signed 2 goalkeepers to add to the mix, so we could end up with 5 here next year. But Cavies also a transfer, and Cavies he comes in with a wealth of experience, played at Tottenham Hotspur for the majority of his career, and is looking to transfer to come in and challenge to be our number 1. It's a very difficult job as a coach to try and replace a player like Rumwald in that calibre, which I think arguably, although he didn't win the accolade, I thought he was the best goalkeeper in Division 2 in the country. And you know, we made it all the way to the final, so we saw a lot of goalkeepers that had played, and I definitely thought he was the best. Trying to replace them is difficult, but when we brought in Cavies, we knew that we had someone that could come in and definitely do so. But just lots of attributes that you would love to have in your goalkeeper that he'll offer us, and you know, he wouldn't be scared to tell you that he's coming here to be the number 1 goalkeeper. So definitely looking forward to getting him in on campus and having him work with our goalkeeping staff with Francois. Robert is also one of our German connections, and a player that's played at some of the highest levels. He's a transfer student to us. He's spent a lot of time playing in some tough leagues and tough competitions, I think 5th and 4th division in Germany, and so he brings a lot of experience. He's an exciting player to watch, and I think he's definitely for us a top signing. Had lots of opportunities like all these guys did to go and play other places. Thankfully they were at places that we beat on the way to the final of the national championship, so that made it easier from this side. But he's very unpredictable, loves the ball at his feet, pacey. He's definitely a playmaker, loves to take players on and create chances. And you know, when you've got someone like Ross Frame scoring the goals that he does, it's good to take a little bit of weight off his shoulders. And bringing in a player like Robert, he's definitely going to contribute to the amount of goals that we score next year. And I think we led the conference, although we did play a lot more games than some of the teams in the conference. We led the conference with goals scored, and that was the ultimate goal for our 2013 campaign. So Robert's going to come in and add to that mix, and he'll definitely be competing with Ross Frame for top goal scorer next year. Alexander, also international, Bosnian. Alexander's going to come in as a centre back, and actually was a teammate of Roberts, and that was kind of the connection there that we had to get in him. But again, we had a kind of makeshift back four last year. Some last minute recruits. Huric Pereira playing in an unnatural position to make up the back four. Mateus and Trejo were maybe the only two that were naturally that they could have started in the positions that he did. So hopefully adding Alexander into the team is going to allow Huric to maybe push forward now and playing that more centre mid role that he's more commonly known for, and definitely I think he brings more to the table playing in that role. So Alexander, we're hoping, is going to come in and compete for that starting spot, maybe to play next to James or whoever steps up and wants to play in there. But you know, I think as a team for fall 14, I think we're going to be almost replacing the entire back four, you know, and it's, you know, from left back to centre back. Duncan Foster, obviously, having played there all last year, is going to have a great chance to be starting in there, and we'd expect him to do so. But we're replacing a goalkeeper, two centre backs, and a left back, so that's a tough job to do. So it'll be interesting how it all fits out. But Alexander's a quality centre back, and from someone that's played there in the position, I think that between James and Alexander, we have two of the top centre backs of what we saw in the conference this year. So Tanner Heath, he's going to feel like the odd one out. Tanner's one of the few American kids that we brought on this year, but the hard thing for us, and like I said, was we wanted to bring in kids that were transfers and kids that could bring an immediate experience to the table, because we obviously want to do better than what we did last year, and we want to set out and try to win the conference. We want to set out and go back to the national tournament, and our desire is to keep doing better every year. And so when we brought in these kids, it was important that we brought in the right ones. Bringing in Tanner Heath, we did exactly that. Tanner is one of the few local players that we found this year that I think could step in and automatically help our team. He's naturally left-footed. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and he's definitely a kid, I think, within the local area that can come into a program like us and stand a fighting chance to start and get some minutes. He's young, he's enthusiastic, he's got a great left foot, and for that fact, he's obviously, that makes him a special player alone. But he's definitely someone that's going to come in and work hard for us, and definitely a player that I think he's one to watch for the future. I mean, we'll lose Jake Fielder next year, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Tanner kind of follow in his footsteps. You know, coming as a freshman, get some minutes, and then by your junior, senior year, you're playing for one of the largest trophies out there. So Tanner's definitely a great talent to watch. Luke Greer is he's going to also be one of those kids that I think that's going to come in and say that he's going to start for the number one spot. And again, I think we'll have 5 goalkeepers, so it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, Nick Martin stepped in 2 times last year to play for Rumwald and done a fantastic job. And he's definitely one that's proved that he can fight for the spot. You know, we have Sam Hayes and Micah Varna, and Micah was ineligible this year, and Sam had redshirted. So all 5 of these guys are going to go after that number one spot. Luke Greer comes out of England, and he's also trained and played at a very, very high standard of soccer. And Luke's one that's going to come in and say that he wants to be the number one. So I think between the mix that we've got and between our goalkeeping staff, I think, you know, we're going to be able to replace Rumwald, which again is going to be the big question on our team is who do we put in goal. And so between the 5 guys that we have coming in, I think it's going to be safe to say that we're going to find someone that can step in and do the same job as what Rumwald had given us. So Luke's definitely going to be, he's a younger talent, he's a freshman, but again, like I say, he's someone that brings a lot of experience, and if we were to put him in the goal tomorrow, I wouldn't have any doubt that he could do the job for us.